I mean, now you've got a chance to reveal to us the real inner secrets of the experience of doing the show.
Oh, man.
What was the thing that the show revealed to you about yourself?
That I could have fun on a television show. Where I've played a lot of dark characters before, or a lot of, like, guys that were very conflicted morally. I feel like the guy I'm playing right now is really good, and I think the show was written in a fun way, even though it's a supernatural show and we go really dark. And we last year we kind of tackled some socio-political issues as well. So it's nice to be in a show where we feel like we can be light in certain areas and have a lot of fun. And I've had a lot of fun on this show. And just the fact that it's a huge ensemble and everybody gets their piece of cake, their equal piece of cake is really cool too.
So have you ever thought about being a proprietor of any kind of a business or your own pawn shop? I mean,
I am terrified of the pawn shops. I don't want to barter with those guys. Those guys will take me to the cleaners. And yeah, I don't know, and I feel like there's weird spiritual stuff tethered to certain items too, almost like in Midnight Pawn, where I don't know if I'd be a big pawn connoisseur, but I do own the bar now in Midnight. And it's not in Midnight; it's actually in Davie. But Bobo beat the crap out of the Nazis, kicked them out, bought the bar, redid it. Now it's like Cheers. Lem comes
for vampires.
Lem comes to me for marital advice.
Who's the norm for?
The norm? That's a great question. I probably there is no. Lem's the bouncer and Joe's a bartender, so we don't have a norm. But that would be great if we had a norm. Who would the norm? I probably would be the norm, but I'm working. I'm the owner. Yeah. Bobo doesn't drink that much this season. He's in a happy place with Fiji, so he doesn't need to hit the whiskey too hard like he did this season before.
So you've done several series where you've seen your character evolve. Mm-hmm. How is it doing this one? How is it alike or different from other experiences? Not because of the darkness and all, but just the nature of the character evolving.
Well, I felt like Bobo was he's always been a good soul and a good guy, but kind of like a damaged pit bull, if you will. Wants to be good, wants to be nice, but at the same time he's got that bite in him where he can flip a switch on and just go into crazy land. And this year I feel like that's all behind him. Pretty much he's with the love of his life. He's so happy. But then, happy couples can't stay happy for too long on television, can't they? Can they?
There needs to be conflict.
There needs to be conflict, and the conflict is not between them. It's an external conflict because of the fact that they love each other. So the fact that Bobo and Fiji are happy and in love, there's some weird supernatural thing happening where Bobo keeps almost dying. Bobo is oblivious to the fact he's in this honeymoon stage, but Fiji's kind of in tune to what's going on. Like weird stuff almost happens. Like I almost die I think 4 different times in the first 2 episodes. Like really weird, we joke, we call it Final Destination Bobo. Like just like the most random weird things almost kill me. And Fiji kind of figures it out, and she starts distancing herself from him, which is really sad because he thought they're but she's not telling him why. But then she goes to all these great extremes and great lengths to kind of cure it, and then she goes to the ultimate extreme and makes this really bad sacrifice of herself to save Bobo, but ends up putting her in a really crazy place that has repercussions to the very end of the season.
Going back to the pawn shop, because I was going to ask you about the relationship, are there any kind of new creepy things that we'll see, or do they not really focus on objects?
Tell us about your creepiness.
You know what? We haven't played in the pawn, at least Bobo hasn't played in the pawn shop that much this year, but it does still come in handy. Like we need certain weapons, we go to the pawn shop. We still go to meet in the pawn shop as a place of safety. When we need, we come together and have a powwow, about how to defeat whoever. But yeah, the pawn shop is still a staple, but it's not as important as it was in season 1, unfortunately. Yeah. The hotel, it's all about the hotel this year. Yeah.
When it comes to trying to portray a relationship on the small screen, what skills are needed between the two actors to make that viable and make it believable?
You picked up on my question. I was going to also ask how you two work together to make that feel authentic.
Parisa and I have actually had conversations about this too on our off time, because sometimes we'll get into character discussion together when we're not working, but we both feel that we could have chemistry with anyone. Like I've worked with actresses that I don't necessarily think that the chemistry was reciprocal, but then I saw it on screen and I was like, okay, I really feel like I can have chemistry with anyone, and she feels the same way. So when you put two people that kind of have that in their arsenal together, I think the chemistry just naturally forms. And we actually really like each other as friends. We really respect each other. She's a great scene partner. She's so insightful. Like, she'll bring so much to a scene, and I'm so receptive of that. Like, I'm not set in my ways. I like to explore with the other person. I like to hear their ideas, and she is the same with me. So I think it's just a mutual understanding that we respect each other, we really like each other, and we really enjoy working together. And I think that really translates to the screen. And I think people really love them as a couple, and I think in the books they loved them as a couple too. So that was important for us, but it was really easy. So I don't know what that is. I just feel like I like people, and she likes people, and neither of us have an ego, or we don't come in with chips on our shoulder, and we're both very thankful to be working in this industry, because a lot of actors that make it aren't, and I've been on those sets where they treat people poorly or aren't really nice to crew, and I just don't get it. I just be thankful to be here, but it's just, it was always really easy with her, and it was easy with Tatiana on Orphan Black. It's been easy with some of my other co-stars, and I just feel really lucky to have her. I really do.
You mentioned the hotel this season. Can you talk about kind of his interactions with the new characters and also working with them as actors?
I almost feel like I was on an island with Fiji for the first part of the season, until stuff really went crazy with her trying to help me. So I haven't had too much interaction with the other characters. Bobo was so oblivious to the fact that there could be bad intentions of these new people coming into town, because he was in La La Land. He was like Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone dancing around with Fiji in his head constantly. So but now as things have progressed to where they are, he's ready to do anything for the woman he loves.
So you had a kind of when you heard that it was being renewed, you must have, that added to, it sounds like there was a level of elation that isn't always the case.
Yeah, we were so excited. Yeah, we were so excited to do the show again and play these characters that we all love. We all feel like a strong connection to these characters, so it was really nice to just, it's always nice to play a character where it's really easy. I don't want to say easy, because I've worked really hard at him, and I've done a lot of character study on to who this guy is. I've read all of Charlene's books like multiple times, but really just, it feels easy to jump into this guy. I feel like I know him, you know what I mean? As opposed to picking up a script for a new show, it's kind of hard. I'm still navigating who this person is. I know who this guy is. So the words on the page just kind of come to me, and then I can just focus on this beautiful young lady here and try to make the best of the scenes we're in.
So how does it inform you as both an actor and as a person?
That's a great question.
You kind of come around it, but you didn't quite. It sounds like it's really more profound than some other experiences.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think having it, yes, her, obviously, having a co-star that you really love working with and respect and And
Who's your favorite ever?
Who's my favorite ever?
Ever.
But also just having like the groundwork laid for us before too, like the backstory where you didn't have to guess too much. You kind of knew where this character should go, and he's in like even another set of books of Charlene. So I mean, just to have all that beautiful like map work to draw on is such a blessing. So I mean, I don't want to necessarily say it makes it easier because you're still doing the research, but it just, I don't know. I don't know. It just made it more fun for me.
Sounds like you made a good scene partner here.
Yeah, she's great.
He's the yummiest. It's true.
That's our headline.
True.
The yummiest.
The yummiest. No, he really is. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I feel like to me as an artist, it's important not just how someone is in front of the camera, but how they're behind the camera. Because there's tons of talented people. But if you're talented and you don't have a good character, then it's not fun to create with you. And he is such a wonderful character. This is such a wonderful yummy hubby and dad, and just an all around great guy that it makes it a joy to work with him.
Yeah, I was telling them the same thing about you.
Oh, I'm a good hubby and dad.
One of the things that he said that I thought that we could ask the same of you is he talked about how you guys have been allowed or had an opportunity to really evolve the characters beyond what a director tells you or beyond what it's necessarily there, that there's some kind of a special gestalt. Can you talk about that from your point of view?
Yes, I mean, my intuition has always been very connected with Fiji from the moment that I got the phone call about whether I'd want to do this audition or not. And I knew that something special was going on. And we have been fortunate enough to have showrunners and directors that really respect our intuition about these characters. So, there are things that, of course, you have your research and there are logical next steps, but then there's also things that just come to us that we just know in our guts are right for the characters, and the people on the show really have been receptive to that. The creators have been very receptive to that.
Where a lot of creators aren't. It's my way or the highway, right? Mm-hmm. And she is, I was telling you guys before, she's so insightful, and she brings so much new greatness to maybe a scene that maybe is, not as great as it could be. Even though it's good, but she brings a whole new element. You're like, oh my god, that is so interesting. It's such a fun way to play it. Just the littlest things too. And it's always really everybody's all the directors and producers, directing producers are yes, let's do that. So yeah.
If I may add one follow-up for you. So does that, with that in mind, what were the surprises that you both, or you in particular, had to adjust to for this year that charged the character even further? Or what you can tell us, or you don't have to tell us the exact.
This is spoiler-free zone.
But you can at least sort of hint at, wow, something happens that I get to challenge myself even further.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, yeah, she's got a lot of challenges on her plate.
There's a lot. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised by I feel everything this season, and even the intimacy between these two is oh my god, it's coming from somebody so Fiji basically was I think post trauma of losing her boyfriend or killing her boyfriend, she was I'm gonna become my aunt, and I'm gonna live a spinster and dress like her and do the things she would do, and I got used to that as an actor, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing these are Fiji's clothes now that she's free, and it's oh my gosh, there's a lot of skin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freedom, physical freedom that is new. But then also because of the changes that are coming, I don't know how much you were talking about.
I talked about your butterfly leaving.
Are we allowed to?
A lot of them were at the.
Yeah, we got to see.
Okay.
They're asking about the butterfly.
We can walk around it. Don't worry.
You can walk around it, but who is Fiji when the butterfly's gone? And it has just made me think so much about how when people do something really awful and then they're oh, that wasn't me, and they're well, it was you. It was just an aspect of you. was part of your capacity, and it wasn't the greatest thing, but it was still you. And I feel like that's what Fiji's dealing with a lot, is like her capacity, like in every human being, is pretty infinite, and we're going to see some of the darker parts of her being this season, because of, like, as a result of what's opened up because of her love for Bobo.
I know, and then what he has to do to get her back.
I saw some of it.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Light or dark, are we going to get to see you perform some more magic?
Oh yeah.
Right here today.
Yeah.
Romantic stuff?
Magic.
Magic. Oh my gosh, yeah. She
Much
does
more,
a
I
lot. She
think.
does a lot of magic.
Yeah, she's just much more comfortable with being herself and using her powers in the smallest ways, and then some massively huge ways. And we get to see her dabbling in riskier magic, and that may take her and others down some pretty.
That was kind of provoked by Trace Lissette.
Trace Lissette.
Yeah, one of our new guest stars from Transparent. Yeah,
she's amazing,
Yeah.
and her character really comes in and
she did a great
educates
job.
me.
Yeah.
She's I want Trace Lissette to be in everything I ever do.
Yeah, our
ever,
guest stars
for the
are
rest of my life.
Unbelievable.
We do, like, we always say that we have the best guest
The
stars.
best guest stars this year. It's crazy.
Any other ones you can
Mention.
Did I say Jasmine Cephas Jones
No, you did
from
not.
Hamilton?
You did not.
Yep, Ron Cephas Jones' daughter. She was so amazing. Adam Langdon, who's on Broadway right now in some famous show. I can't remember the name of the show.
Yeah.
Who else do we have? Michael Ealy from Orange Is the New Black, and
Wait, is it
Deadwood.
Early? Not Ealy.
Early?
Early. I think it's Early.
Michael Early.
But you can look him up. He's amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah, Orange Is the New Black and Deadwood. Yeah, that's all.
And forgive me, I've forgotten her name from who was in August Osage County. I think she won a Tony.
Oh, was she from Dexter? Jamie?
No, that's she's here now.
Okay.
Jamie. I can't remember Jamie's last name.
can't
No,
remember.
this was
I haven't met her
earlier.
yet.
Who played Grace?
Oh, I wasn't here.
Oh.
It's one thing we did ask. How does this experience change you as an actor? Because listening to the both of you interact, there's a thing going on here that I don't think happens everywhere, that two actors. So there seems to be some kind of transformative quality to this experience. Not just because you're in an ensemble, not just because you're in a TV series that has.
We really trust each other.
Something
I
very
think that's-
special.
Yeah, we really trust each other, and we're just comfortable with working with each other, and we're just, I'm very receptive to whatever she wants to do, and she's very receptive to what I want to do.
He
And
says he listens to what you tell him. He knows his role.
I do, absolutely.
goodness.
At home and at work, I know my role.
He's a full-on gentleman and a collaborator,
And a
not
collaborator.
just listening.
Yes, no.
Sharing.
Yes, I try.
But yeah, like I feel like this has been, having an experience where you work with people that you admire and respect and create well with, is freeing. It's nourishing.
Mm-hmm.
It's inspiring. And I know before I ever entered this industry, people would be like, "Oh, actors are the worst," and there'll be such cattiness.
Right.
And Hollywood is terrible. Mind you, there are terrible aspects of Hollywood. There are terrible aspects of everything. My mom's a teacher. Wholesome profession. Terrible parts of that too. What I've found is that the more I get a taste for positive, encouraging, sweet relationships in this industry and in my life in general, the easier it is to spot them, and then the faster I latch on to them. So I would say this series has really been a part of that, a part of educating me and calibrating me to experiences that are nourishing and nurturing and positive. in a creative sense.
It feels weird when we're not in scenes together.
I know.
We're like, I miss you.
It's true. It's true. It's like, because he's so dreamy. I mean, like, it's embarrassing. Like, if I'm not focused in when we're rehearsing, and then I'm like Parisa when we're rehearsing, and not Fiji when we're rehearsing, then he makes me giggle so much because he's like doing all those like cute Bobo things. And I am a fan of the show,
Yeah,
like
you
legit.
both
Like I've watched
are,
this
yeah.
show so many times.
I've watched it way too many
I've watched it
times,
like
too.
7 times straight through,
I know.
like with friends.
Me too.
A little on my own too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I like it. I don't care.
Well, you should like it.
So, did you get in touch with your inner witch, your inner Wiccan?
Oh,
I wanna hear about
yes.
your inner Wiccan here.
I mean, I didn't realize I was a witch until I got to know Fiji, and I was like, oh, I'm such a witch already. You know, my mom's a witch. Like, I mean, you know, in all the ways. No, I'm just kidding. No, no.
I was like,
she
what?
always,
She is?
No, you
She
know,
was lovely when I
But
knew
my
her.
mom has always called herself a witch, and like she had a thing that said my other car is a broom, and like you know, like
That's
when we were kids.
hilarious.
But it's actually in a very sincere way. Being a part of this, playing Fiji, and connecting with the fandom around it, which contains a lot of people who identify as Wiccan or with pagan practices, like. It's been really heartwarming to learn more about the ways that people understand the world through nature, through energies, through things that are not necessarily physically tangible. It just makes me feel accompanied and encouraged, and I love it.
I remember last year your energy. You two have such energy, but I remember her energy in particular. So do you know when the camera's gone? Is it hard to get out of the character?
I usually try to stay there. Yeah, I get goofy when the camera's not going. Like Bobo's kind of goofy. Yeah, no, we just had a lot of fun. It's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, off that topic, do we have any good Mr. Snuggly scenes or funny scenes?
We have some. I mean, any scene with Mr. Snuggly is good.
There's a really good one in our very first scene, our introductory scene in the first episode of the second season. It was a really good Mr. Snuggly scene. Yeah, that I think the fans will enjoy.
Did you want to get something?
We definitely. I feel like we need more episodes next season. I'm calling it.
These night shoots are killing me. I don't know how many more I can do.
That was my closing question. Was this must be a really physically taxing thing to do, given some of the environments? Can you talk about how you manage it?
Yeah, actually, I go to a lot of healers here. I really watch what I eat, what I drink.
Be healthy, yeah.
Yeah, but like there's a dual kind of benefit to interacting with the kind of people that Fiji is here in Albuquerque. There are a ton of people who are really connected to the healing arts and connected to looking at the healing arts from a very holistic perspective. So I can go to them for tune-ups, but also for research. It's great.
No, I mean, I work out until I almost throw up and have a glass of wine at night.